Dear Patriots, before the news starts, please subscribe to our patriotic channel by clicking the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up to this video. Don't forget to leave your opinion below in the comments section. Share the news on Facebook and Twitter so you friends see it. Thank you.
Democrat state found hiding 100,000 illegals on registered voter rolls. We know that Democrats will do anything to win elections. Even violate the very ethics of our democratic republic. In numerous states, people aren't even required to show proof of identity before voting. They can pretend to be anyone, so long as the name is registered. You can't tell me people aren't exploiting that to steal elections. We often hear of other forms of voting fraud, including using the names of registered deceased voters to sneak in another vote. But one state took it much too far. It has admitted to letting 100,000 non-citizens register to vote. This means that a large group of people have the power to sway elections, who aren't even American citizens. The state is not one you're thinking of. From Breitbart. More than 100,000 non-U.S. citizens are registered voters in Pennsylvania, according to testimony contained in a lawsuit demanding that the state admit its problems when it comes to non-citizen voting. For months, Pennsylvania bureaucrats have concealed facts about non-citizens registering and voting, that ends today, PILF President and General Counsel J. Christian Adams said. Of the more than 100,000 non-citizen voters in Pennsylvania, one city commissioner found in September that at least 90 of those non-citizens registered to vote cast ballots in Philadelphia. Hundreds more non-citizens who did not vote were also on the voter rolls. They are following a scheme used by other liberal states like California. They lowered the bar, allowing non-citizens who renew their driver's licenses the right to register to vote. There's just one big problem: being allowed to drive in the U.S. is not the same as legal citizenship. This is an obvious attempt at voter fraud. No non-citizen, even a legal immigrant, should be allowed to vote in an U.S. election. Would I be able to vote in Canada, simply by getting a driver's license there? Of course not. Why should it be any different in America? News of this fraud comes after liberal, Pennsylvania judges recreated the congressional election map, which now gives Democrats a distinct advantage. Clearly Democrats are doing anything to steal the state from legal, voting citizens. Whether inside the law or outside of it, they will violate our democracy to have their way. News is spreading that other states are also joining in this ridiculous practice, including New Jersey, Virginia, and Texas. So, when are we going to say we've had enough? The time is now to stop this before illegals take over our country for good. H.T. Breitbart. Jeff Sessions dropped sledgehammer on Obama, Americans are cheering. Amid his time in the White House, Barack Obama frequently abused the powers of the executive branch. Presently, Attorney General Jeff Sessions is finding a way to guarantee that no president will have the capacity to abuse his power again the way Obama did. Sessions disclosed to Breitbart that the Department of Justice was ending the executive branch's legal activism of the past organization, while likewise fighting the judicial activism of liberal judges. I think the department did become too political under President Barack Obama, Sessions said. Essentially, it was executive branch legal activism. They would take cases or regulations or statutes and expand or redefine the meaning of words in them to advance the agenda that they thought ought to be advanced, an agenda that often had zero chance of passing Congress, where the elected representatives sit. So you have an agenda, and you can't get Congress to pass it, so you use unelected regulatory officials and lawyers to draft regulations and enforcement policies that carry out a political agenda that the people don't favor, he proceeded. And I think that was a factor in this past, presidential, election, and it was an issue that was known to a lot of business and legal experts. They saw this as a dangerous trend. Sessions cited to Obama's Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, DACA, program, which terminates March 5, as an essential case of executive branch legal activism. The Attorney General went ahead to excoriate the courts for keeping President Donald Trump from pulling back Obama's policy. President Obama said repeatedly that it was not legal, he couldn't do it. Congress had took up an issue and it failed to pass. So they just did it anyway, he said. But now when we tried to withdraw the DACA policy, we've been sued and judges have stopped simple withdrawal of the policy. Sessions clarified that the biggest surprise of his tenure as Attorney General has been the plethora of cases in which a single sitting federal judge, one federal judge out of 600 some odd, for insubstantial reasons, issues an injunction that bars the executive branch of the government from protecting people, and from being able to fulfill the function for which the chief executive was elected to fulfill. He said that the executive branch couldn't go about as a co-equal branch of government on the off chance that it needed to gain approval of every one of 600 federal judges to carry out the policies the president was elected to do. What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comments section below. HT Breitbart. Veterans Affairs pays big bucks to reimburse business for ending illegal contracts at LA facility. The Los Angeles Veterans Affairs, VA, facility that illegally leased out chunks of its huge parcel to private businesses paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to reimburse some for terminating the unlawful agreements, records obtained by Judicial Watch show. It marks the latest in a series of scandals to rock the sprawling Southern California VA campus forced by a lawsuit to use the land for its intended purpose of helping vets, especially those who are homeless. The 338-acre parcel in West Los Angeles, which includes the National Veterans Park and Veterans Home, was deeded to the federal government in 1888 for the specific purpose of caring for disabled veterans. Thousands of disabled veterans once lived on the property, which also had churches, theaters, a library and post office. In the 1960s and 1970s the VA quietly closed the facilities, according to the American Legion, and ousted mentally disabled veterans. In recent years, the property has been used for many causes unrelated to veterans. Among them is a stadium for the University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA, baseball team, an athletic complex for a nearby private high school, laundry facilities for a local hotel, storage and maintenance of production sets for 20th Century Fox Television, the Brentwood Theater, soccer practice and match fields for a private girls' soccer club, a dog park, and a farmer's market. A lawsuit accusing the VA of misusing the LA grounds and illegally leasing the land forced the agency to make changes. As part of a settlement, the VA announced that it would dedicate the West LA campus to serving veterans in need by, among other things, designing a plan to help end homelessness among the county's veterans. The legal settlement also compelled the VA to terminate leases with private businesses that were never supposed to be there in the first place. In fact, in 2013 a federal judge struck down the leases, ruling that the VA misused the West LA property by engaging in them. The same judge, S. James Otero, halted construction of an amphitheater on the property. It was partially constructed by the Veterans Parks Conservancy, VPC, on the north side of the grounds, a site that was ordered to be restored to a neat, safe and clean condition by May 6, 2016. Records obtained by Judicial Watch show that the VPC got a big check from the VA to tear down the illegal amphitheater. Within 30 days from the date of this revocable license, Virginia will remit to VPC not less than $287,318 to reimburse VPC for its expenses in planning and partially constructing the existing amphitheater, state the records, obtained through the Freedom of Information Act, FOIA, as part of an ongoing Judicial Watch investigation into corruption at the LA VA. In addition, within 30 days following the party's execution of the acknowledgement letter, Virginia will remit not less than $106,096 to VPC to reimburse VPC for its expenses to remove the partially constructed amphitheater off the north side of the campus. The VA gave 20th Century Fox Television $435,000 to terminate its illicit agreement with the entertainment company, the records obtained by Judicial Watch show. The deal provided 72,160 square feet of land at the West LA VA to be used as parking, storage and maintenance of production sets. It was classified as a sharing agreement that caught the attention of county officials, who halted construction of a storage facility because Fox Entertainment failed to obtain necessary approvals and permits. The same batch of VA records reveal that for years UCLA failed to pay for utilities at its baseball field, officially known as Jackie Robinson Stadium, on the VA property. This amounted to $108,278, according to invoices included in the documents. Just last month, an official at the LA VA pleaded guilty to 2 felonies for taking hundreds of thousands of dollars in bribes from a vendor that defrauded the VA out of millions. The corrupt VA official, Ralph Tillman, took over $250,000 in bribes from a parking lot operator at the VA Greater Los Angeles healthcare system. The crooked parking lot operator, Richard Scott, owns a company called Westside Services that has long benefited from a lucrative contract with the Virginia. Scott paid Tillman to conceal a scheme in which he failed to pay the VA more than $11 million generated by his operation of the parking facilities, according to the feds. Tillman admitted to federal authorities that he knew the parking lot operator was defrauding the VA out of millions of dollars and that he extended Westside Services' contract in 2011 to continue the fraud and bribery scheme. Scott personally delivered monthly cash payments to Tillman in sealed FedEx envelopes. The disgraced VA official faces up to 8 years in prison. While all this corruption went on at this VA facility, an Army vet got criminally prosecuted for displaying the American flag on the outside fence on Memorial Day. His name is Robert Roseberg and he faced up to 6 months in prison for the ghastly offense of reportedly affixing Old Glory at a site honoring those who served their country.